Hello everyone. I put out some videos today about music where I lost my shit because it's the saddest song I've ever heard. I just wanted to talk about it and it was playing because I wanted to listen to it before I talked about it, and then it played while I talked about it and I sang about it in my worst fucking voice ever. But it's kind of how it goes. I mean, it's a visceral video. If you want to watch it, go check it out. It's Glenn Phillips' Go. It's the saddest song I've ever heard. And then I made a video full of venom. I hate this young lady named Heather Antos. She's a sexist and racist, and basically to me, she's a Nazi. Very pretty girl, though. I don't know. I think she was indoctrinated by the SJWs and turned to their values. And the SJWs don't have any, honestly. It's just, what do they call it? Representation at any cost. At any cost. You know, you have to represent everyone at any cost. And this bitch never read a comic book. She didn't understand. Comic books have been diverse forever. But now we gotta force it. Now we gotta change characters' identities, and we gotta change their genders, and we gotta change their sexuality just cause. But if you read comic books, like I did, since the late 70s, early 80s, there was a very diverse cast, especially when you get to the X-Men. But this bitch never read a comic book. Nah. She just, I don't want to say anything bad about her. She's a very pretty girl, and now she's the head editor at Valiant Comics after 3 years. 4 years, maybe. How she ever got into the comic book industry, I don't know. Because she never read a comic book. She doesn't understand how to write them, how to read them, how to draw them, or how to edit them. But now she's an editor. Now, like I said, she's a very pretty girl, and I'm not going to talk shit about her anymore. All this shit used to be done by merit. Like, you earned your way up in the comic book industry. You had to start at the bottom and work your way up. You know, that's how it works. I mean, and you have to continually hone your craft. It was a meritocracy. Like, as you got better, they gave you better assignments. As you got better, you got bigger books. But now, it's just a clown show in comic books. They're just trying to hire the biggest purse puppy. You know, like, oh, it's a transgendered Mexican person. Well, they want to write a comic book. Let's let them. It's Heather Antos. I want into the comic book industry, and I'm very cute, and I got beautiful red hair, and I'm unskilled at anything. Yeah, take it to the top. Because it'll make us look good. You know what I mean? This isn't where I wanted to go with this video, but like over at my job, it's a meritocracy over there. You know, you don't get promoted to manager unless you know what you're fucking doing. You don't get like more hours over there unless you can show that you can work them and you do a good job. But in the comic book industry, it's if you're a pretty girl and you speak the right rhetoric. And that's what Heather Antos has done. She's a very pretty girl, by the way. I don't know if she's got an Instagram or I don't know. But if she does, go check her out. She's very pretty. I'm very attracted to her. Just saying. I think she was indoctrinated by the SJWs over at Marvel Comics, so. And she's a racist against white people, and she's white. And she's a sexist because she hates white men. And she's a Nazi because she's fallen in line with all those other people that feel the exact same way. And they're all white people that hate white people. I don't know if you understand this. I don't know why I went off tonight, but the comic book industry has been infiltrated by Nazis, basically. They hate the reader. That's who they hate. And especially us, cis, what they call straight white males. And they hate us with a passion. And I don't know, Gail Simone had a tweet, said, like, the pillars of our industry were formed by white men. Let's chip away at that. What the fuck is that about? You want to take away your readership, you stupid bitch? Because it worked. I haven't read a new comic in years after that shit. And they're getting what they want, I guess. I guess this is what this video is about. The SJWs in comic books are finally getting what they want. No one to read comics. Like, no one. They don't want anyone to read comic books anymore. I don't get it. Comics used to be an industry that pumped out books every week and sold good stories to everyone. And that was the idea, at least. But now we have, like, New Warriors, which is just, like, it's just there to trigger Zach, your boy Zach, over at his channel, like, Comics Matter with your boy Zach. Check it out. He's upset with his shit, too. Anyone who knows me, my channel is named after a comic book character, my favorite one, Rock Kryn. Stare down Mordrew when he had no powers. Like, Mordrew was powerful. Rock Kryn just said, how about this? You're going to give us the White Witch, and you're not going to become a superpower in this universe again, or we're going to take you down. We're going to take your ass fucking down, like we did before. And Mordrew sat there and said, how the hell did he get one over on me? I knew he had no powers, but yet you'd have to read the comic, but this is what solidified Rock Kryn as my favorite superhero, and he has no superpowers in that comic. Earlier issues of the Legion of Superheroes, he was very powerful. He's the good guy Magneto. We'll put it at that. Like, you know how powerful he is. But he won't go to the lengths that Magneto does. Like, he won't reverse the flow of your blood, with the iron in it. He's not that bad a guy. Yeah. Comic book pros need to respect the fans, and I don't know, it was weird. I was watching a video the other day by Sean Gordon Murphy, and he was talking about, like, his social anxiety and but the fact that he loves the fans, right? But he said there's a difference between customer relations and customer service, and he went on to talk about it like customer relations is meeting you at a con, right? And signing your books and being nice to you and chatting with you. He's a great guy. I like Sean Gordon Murphy online. But he talks about customer service as when you have a complaint, you got to talk to customer service, right? And I think that's the role of the comic book pro too, but he was like kind of deflecting. He's like, look, you can come to me on Twitter if you don't like what I've written, but that's not the best way to get it through to the publisher. It just makes, you're just trolling me then. You go to the publisher and let them know you don't like what I'm doing. And I was like, well, that's a different take. And I honestly think it is a different take. Because, I mean, the publisher's online. The publisher's on Twitter. And, I can speak to that. I mean, I didn't go after Scott Snyder. I just told him I was disappointed. That's all. And he was nice to me. He didn't shit on me and block me. You know what I mean? I'm unhappy with the way DC Comics are going right now, and he's the main reason. And he was like, I'm sorry you feel that way. And that's it. But at least he didn't shit on me, you know, like other comic pros, like a fake comic pro like Heather Antos. Because she ain't real. She's a pretty girl that... I don't want to say how she got to the top of comic books. Being the writer's girlfriend, kinda fake girlfriend. I don't want to say that, but some of this is true. I know girls do this to get into industries, and you all know that. It's not merit. If the industry isn't based on merit, this kind of shit happens. And over at Marvel Comics, any old slob can walk in there and write a comic, it seems. And any old slob can go in there and draw a comic because they get all their artists off Tumblr or something. They're not very good. And they get the lousiest page rates. They're not... I didn't want to talk about comic books in this video, but it's what I've done. Y'all should unfollow Heather Antos on Twitter. You should all, I want you to tell her she's vile or anything. Just unfollow if you follow her over there. And if you're already blocked, well, guess what? She has a blockchain. Woo! Just like all those Twitter assholes do. I don't even want to see what she has to say in that video. As soon as I saw her in it, like Comic Pop talking to Heather Antos, I just looked at her and I saw all those awful tweets. As soon as I saw her face, I'm like, I spurged out. Absolutely spurged out. I cannot watch that video. As pretty as the girl is, I can't watch the video. Because she's such an awful, vile human. And I'm not going to say it like I'm better. I'm just a white guy that reads comics, and I'm a drunk, and I make a lot of YouTube videos while I'm drinking, and I talk shit about people, but everything I said about her today is accurate. Go to her Twitter profile if you're not blocked, because she has a blockchain on everyone. I can't believe Sal's talking to her. Sal likes cute girls. His wife Tiffany is a babe. Anyways, I don't know where I wanted to go with this video. I'm just so incensed. The comic book industry is left in rubble because of things like the New Warriors and Children of the Atom. Now, I do think the new America Chavez book, I don't know who the artist is, but yeah, he made her so over-sexualized that Twitter went mad. And made a cute girl, a comic book character, into a hot-looking woman. Go figure. The approved body type and all that. I know this video's run a little long, and I've lost the plot. Anyways, I hope you watch. I hope you like. I hope you subscribe. And hit the bell for notifications, because, well, I don't think anybody has. Because even my subscribers don't watch these videos. This is just an opinion piece. It goes off the rails. I know. And it's funny, too, because I was, right here on the rail. And I start talking about comic books and how much I hate that bitch, and then, ugh. And, yeah. Vile human. Heather Ontos. She can say the same thing about me, and it wouldn't be inaccurate. It would not be inaccurate. She called me a violent human because I'm a drunk, I'm fat, and I'm old, and I work at a fast food restaurant. You know, I'm not one of the best people on earth, and I'll admit that. But she has to look at herself in the mirror and look at all the stupid shit she said online and understand that people take that shit seriously. People understand what she says when she says that shit. You know, the worst humans on earth are Americans. Alright, I'll never buy a book that you're associated with again. Thank you very much. She hates us. Everyone in America, she hates us all. She's a cute girl, though. I'm sure she's going to find some sugar daddy someday. Well, she already did. Marvel Comics. And when Marvel couldn't deal with her anymore because of her outlandish politics and SJWism, Valiant hired her to be their top editor or whatever. No, Heather Ontos is a fucking piece of shit. And this is the second video about her, I guess. It wasn't where I wanted to start, or it wasn't at the start. The last video, I was fucking incensed about, I hate her. Now, we're getting here. Now, can she see the light? Can Heather Ontos see the light and come back to humanity without, like, being destroyed online? I don't think so. She's fully indoctrinated into the fucking leftist machine. And I'm not saying, Democrats are bad. I think far leftism is incredibly awful, as is far rightism. Being extreme in either direction is awful for everyone. And this bitch got a little taste of, I don't know, whatever that power is you get from being a little bit on the left. And she ran with it. And, well, she's got a great career. She's probably making a lot of money. But, like I said in that other video, she's a fucking Nazi. Because she's a racist and a sexist. And an awful human being. And a very beautiful young lady. I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of beautiful young women tied up in the SJW nonsense. I'm sure there's a lot of them. And I don't want to say red pill or blue pill or whatever that means, because I don't know. I'm just saying, like, get out of the rhetoric. Learn something for yourself and find out what's actually going on in the world instead of being indoctrinated into some stupid fucking shit. I'm just a guy out here on my own. I listen to both sides. I hear both sides and I listen to it and I'm like, yeah, it's a bunch of bullshit. Trump's gonna win again, and it's not my fault. I didn't want him to win last time, but when the DNC betrayed Bernie, like they totally fucking did, well, I'd say 70% of the DNC and all the people that were gonna vote didn't. Nobody wanted Hillary Clinton as their candidate. No, nobody wants Joe Biden either. Stupid idiots. God damn. There's overlords in this country, and they're making sure everything happens the way they want. But under Trump's presidency, I have to say the economy was booming until COVID-19. And this happened at the right time, right? So everyone's locked down. The economy totally fucking sucks. Now we can get rid of Trump because, his economics totally suck. But a disease caused this shit, and I don't know what you call it. God damn it. I hate this shit. An overabundance of caution has caused the lockdown. Now, when Trump said, hey, we don't want anyone from China coming here because they got that bad disease, everyone called him a racist. That's fine. Heather Antos is a racist. I mean, isn't that the same thing? I mean, she's like the lead editor at a comic book company and she's a fucking racist. And Donald Trump is the leader of a country and he's a fucking racist. I think it jives well. I think this is the thesis of this video. Sorry I rambled on so long, and sorry I lisp a lot, but you know, I was born with a cleft palate and not everything comes out right. And I've been drinking, so of course nothing comes out right. But I think there's a parallel here. If you hate Donald Trump, you have to hate Heather Antos. And if you don't hate Heather Antos, and she's a pretty young lady, he's a big fat guy like me, I don't know who his hairdresser is, but I wish I had a head of hair like Donald Trump. Not like it, but just as much as, if you know what I mean. Because my hair is thinning like a mad mo, because I'm getting old. I mean, I'm going to be 48 in a couple months. But, yeah, if you're going to call out Donald Trump for his racism, you have to call out Heather Antos for hers. And Sana Amanat and Donny Cates and all these vile comic book creators. Just write good stories. If you're a comic book writer, just write a good story. You don't have to put your fucking politics in it. Comic books have always been political. Yeah, whatever. Spider-Man thought about voting for Ronald Reagan once. Oh my God! They've always been. I don't know. Over at DC, comic books have never been political. I shouldn't say never, because they had some political comics. But those were written that way. They didn't take the Flash, they didn't take Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman and Green Lantern and all that and turn them into political icons. I mean, at one time they did do that book, How Everyone Voted. And this is during, I think it was probably the Bush administration. They put out this book about how everyone voted. Superman, and he said, I'm not going to tell you. Because politics are personal. It's not. This is a guy talking to you that voted for Obama twice. And voted for George Bush Jr. twice. And voted for. I never voted for Clinton. I voted for George Sr. once. No, twice. Twice. Because I voted for him the first time I could vote. George Bush for president. Now, years later, I hated the Clintons. Absolutely hated the Clintons. And I still hate the Clintons. And I don't want the Clintons anywhere near our government. But yet, Hillary is still very much a prominent figure in our government. And I voted for George Bush Jr. twice. Now, like I said, politics are personal. But I thought he would do, even though he's a clown, I thought he would do a better job than the clowns that were up against him. But Obama came around and he said all the right things, and I was like, you know what? We've had 8 years of this clown. Let's get at least 4 more years of this clown. Someone different. And that's all I wanted. I mean, I didn't want more Dick Cheney, you know. I didn't want that guy running the country, and I didn't. Yeah, again, now I'm getting into politics. I mean, I'm very much a centrist. I just want the best for everyone, despite the fact that neither candidate will do that for anyone. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, my politics aren't out there. I don't put them online. I don't talk about them very much. I don't want I don't want Donald Trump to win again, but I don't want Joe Biden to win. Because Joe Biden is lost. I mean, he's an old man. I don't know. He's like the new Ronald Reagan without the charisma. You know what I mean? This old man that doesn't have like 30 years of Hollywood experience. I know it sounds weird, but And that's who they want to put up there. And we already have a guy with 30 years of Hollywood experience working in the presidency. We have the new Ronald Reagan as Donald Trump. I don't think he's as well. Shit. When I was a kid and Ronald Reagan was the president, and my mom and dad were just like, well, he was a cool actor. They weren't happy with his politics or anything. But especially when Iran-Contra and all that stuff happened, Oliver North had to go down. I know this video is getting a lot longer than I wanted it to, but you know what? I gotta talk about stuff. This is my channel. This is my blog. And, excuse me. Had to anyways, doesn't matter. Yeah, I lived through Reaganomics. And, as I grew up and my parents were, I don't know. My father worked for Northrop before it was Northrop Grumman. Yeah, he worked on top secret shit. They had to ship him out to Alamogordo, New Mexico, to work on top secret shit. My mother worked at Rockwell International. Computer chips. They were making wafers and computer chips and shit. I'm not sure exactly what she did, but my mother was a fucking racist. And it's funny because she hated the Vietnamese because they invaded our neighborhoods, took all the jobs, and I don't know. If she ever knew about my girlfriend Kien Nguyen, which this is when I was in junior high. There was a show called Robotech on, and well, she would come over to my house to watch it with me because we were both interested in it. There's a romance, there's action, yeah, and my parents weren't home because my dad got home at like 4:30, my mom got home at 5:30, and Robotech was on at like 3:30, so, she'd come over with me, and I tell you, this Vietnamese girl tried her best to look like Madonna back in the day. Oh my God, I was so attracted to her. I'm just a nerd, just a fucking nerd. But I talked to her, and we shared something in common. We both liked Robotech. And this is during the Ronald Reagan era, and my mother being a complete and utter racist against Vietnamese people. And, yeah. So, the episode would end, and, I'd walk her home. And, the episode would end, and we'd hang out for a little while and talk about it. And the episode would end, and we'd go out to the shed, and, nothing got very serious, but we'd make out for like half an hour. I'm just saying, it was, teenagers, young, I think I was like 11 or 12, and I was very young. And she was, a girl that did her hair and makeup and eyes and everything. So she looked like the girl that all the boys wanted on TV. You'd see the Madonna video, and then the next day you'd find her looking just like it. And she was like my girlfriend. It's so weird. Childhood is so weird. It's fun to talk about it, though. And then think about how racist my mother was. But, like, my best friend in, like, little kid school, like, elementary school, was T. Nguyen. Thi Nguyen. And he was over at our house all the time. And John Doe. I don't know. My school was overrun with them, maybe. I guess that's the idea that my mom would say. But, I mean, they're cool kids. And they spoke English really well. Because they were raised here. They went to school with me. I don't know. And they were cool kids. Although I was like, the biggest fucking nerd on earth. But, But also, let me tell you something. If you're watching this video, you're going to watch it till the end. I got to tell you something. My father was a professional baseball player. Never made it to the big leagues. But he was a pro. He got paid to play baseball. He was a catcher. And my Uncle Larry, my father was Clifford Orr. My Uncle Larry is Larry Altman. He was a semi-pro, real pro pitcher. They never made it to the big leagues, but they were in the minor leagues, right? These guys got paid to play baseball. And, oh my God, they were very good. And they coached me up to be very good when I was a kid. And I was a very good athlete as a child until I lost interest in everything. Because, girls and shit. And I'll tell you, honestly, I had to sit in my room for like 3 months after an operation. I just didn't really, and they cut a piece off my hip. I just didn't really get back into athletics after that. I mean, I tried to. I really wanted to. And, but the baseball thing, I don't know. I wanted to play second base. Like Bobby Grich. He used to play for the Angels. He had a cool mustache, and he was a great second baseman. Now, second base isn't the most important spot. Shortstop, third base, and first base, those are the places where the best people play, if you don't know much about baseball. In the outfield, yeesh. But, I mean, you got to be awesome outfielder. Like, yeah, baseball is a complicated game. But when you're a little kid, it's like, we put the worst person in right field. And that's where I played my first couple years. And I knew how to play. I was very good at it, but the coach, he wasn't my dad, of course. So I'm relegated to right field. And I remember one day I was just sitting out there. I'm like picking daisies because nothing's happening. And a kid hit a ball and it hit me right on top of the head. I wasn't looking or anything. I'm just kind of like... I was just a little kid, and it hit me right on top of the head. And I was like, wait, what? So I picked it up and I threw it to the, cutoff man, and he wasn't a man, he was just a boy, But we got that guy out before he got home. Just saying. I was lackadaisical as a right fielder. I'll tell you that's the truth, because it just sucked. I hated it. But a couple years later, my dad's the coach, right? And we'd been working out in the yard and practicing all the time. And he has me at second base, where I love to be. And my buddy, whose name I can't remember, was at shortstop. And we were so good at turning double plays. Like, the kid would hit it right to him. I'd cover the bag. He'd throw it to me. I'd throw it to the first baseman. Boom. Double play. And my buddy Mike Gray played first base. And we were both super stoked to be on this team. Because, there was something different this year. I think it was that my dad was the coach. And Mike Grabe lived on the corner, like right by my house. So he was over there practicing with us all the time. We were trying very hard to be a good baseball team. And, we both played infield instead of outfield. And I remember at the beginning of that year, my dad's like, every time you swing the bat, you're getting a hit. You're on base and you're driving in runs. I want you to bat fourth. And I'm just like, wait, I'm the cleanup man? And he's like, yeah, because you're seeing the ball better than you ever have before. We practiced a lot. I couldn't hit it very hard. I wasn't like swinging for the fences or anything. No, just get on base, bring in runners, hit it between those dudes over there. And I learned how to stand. Rod Carew was my hero back then. If you ever saw Rod Carew stand in the batter's box, that guy had a style, and I tried to emulate that style, and I could open and close my stance depending on where I wanted to hit the ball. Something my father taught me. And, we didn't win a lot of games, I'll be honest. We were fourth in our 4-team conference because we couldn't stop them. That was the thing. Like, we were good in the infield, we sucked in the outfield, and our hitting wasn't that great. Like, I was good, Mike Grabe was good. He was very, like, me and him were very good at getting hit by the pitch. Because, again, my father was just telling us, like, just step in there. Lean into it. If it's coming right for you, lean into it. The pain is temporary, Victory is forever. If we win, And we didn't win a lot of games that year. And my dad wasn't the coach anymore. And I lost interest in baseball. I don't know. The next year I was in baseball, we had real stirrups and real uniforms and all that. I was just like, this is dumb. I didn't feel right. And they put me back in right field because they're like, this kid can't play. And so I was, I missed second base where I was, it was a lot of fun to play infield, middle infield. But they wouldn't let me. They put me out there because the coach's son played second base, and I batted ninth because I sucked, even though I knew how to hit to any field, and I could hit any ball that came my way. It was just awful. That team was awful. And, of course, we made it to the city finals. It's just the stupid shit. It's the stupid shit of my life. Like, when I'm hating it the most is when we get further. And South Park made a great video about this. Or a great episode. So maybe it's an episode. Like, the kids don't want to play baseball, yet, their fathers want them to. They go out there, they play, and they win. And so they go on, and they're like, no, we don't want to. Ugh, our whole summer's being wasted by playing baseball. And that's how I felt that year. I was like, the coach doesn't respect me as an athlete. None of my other teammates do either. Because I played for Bolsa Little League, and they were playing for something else. And, the coach puts me in right field. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to pick daisies. I don't care. Fuck this team and fuck this whole thing. But, as the ball was hit to me, I'd catch it and I'd throw it in. I had a strong arm. I was a very good athlete. Trained up by my dad and uncle. And, no respect. None respect was given to me. I remember the day that we were supposed to, play in the city championship. My dad walked into me while I was jacking off. And he's like, I'm like, dude, I don't care about this team. I don't care about this game anymore. I'm watching Madonna on MTV, and I'm gonna come. Leave me alone. And it was honestly like that. And we went, and I didn't whiff. I didn't try to whiff when the balls came in. I was just like, I don't care. And I know the coach, he's like, what are you doing up there? And I'm like, fuck you and this whole team. I don't care. You disrespected me when I got here, and you treated me like shit the whole time. This isn't my fault. And one guy doesn't make a team. You know? If I fail, the rest of the team has to hold me up. And if the rest of the team ridicules me and puts me down, well, I don't want to be a part of this team. I never played baseball after that. I never wanted to. It's too much of that politics go into it. You know, I'll tell you this, if my dad was part of the team, or my uncle was part of the team, we'd have had a lot more fun. That's all I mean. This is fun. That team was no fun. That year my dad was the coach, everyone had fun. We had pizza party every week. After every game, win or lose, we all had camaraderie. Like the whole team was together. I wish I could remember all the kids on it. I remember Jade Rubidoux. I couldn't tell you how to spell his name because it's got an X at the end. But he was a cool kid. I got to meet him, and his older brother used to make me laugh all the time, John Rubidoux. Oh, dude, he is a goofball. He's just a fun kid. If Jade and John Rubidoux are out there anywhere, I hope you watch this video. I don't know how to spell your last name anymore. It was Rubidoux with an X at the end. Anyone out there try to figure out how to spell that? I'd like to reach out to those guys. They're not kids anymore. Obviously, they're probably John is in his 50s, and Jade is about my age. I'm going to be 48 this year, so... But yeah, meritocracy. I think this is what I'm talking about, and this is why that third year in baseball, it was nepotism. You know, I was a really good second base player. I was a good first base player. They stuck me in right field because they put all their kids, all their own kids everywhere. You know, like, oh no, yeah, you're no good. And I was like, oh, all those years I spent training to be a second baseman, no good. All right. And I mean, I'm not going to disparage the kid that played second base because he was good. But nobody on that team had fun. That wasn't the point. It was winning was everything. And we won a lot. And all the kids were miserable. It makes me think about the New England Patriots, a team that I love, but Bill Belichick being the despot that he is, no one has fun there. It's all about work. It's all about doing your job. It's like a job. You can't have fun. But now when you're kids, do you want to have a coach like that where it's like every day you got to work hard and have no fun? Winning is fun, but all the sacrifices, all the things you do all the time to make it happen, and all the hard work that goes into it, that part isn't fun. I think that's, well, I know that's not why Tom Brady left, but I think that's why Gronkowski left the team. And here we are talking about another subject, NFL football. I'm a New England Patriots fan. There's a video about that. Bill Belichick is like, I don't want to know the stats, but he's like 11-30 without Tom Brady, and he acts like he's the greatest coach ever. Yeah, he drafted Tom Brady and made him sit behind Drew Bledsoe, and they went 5-11. You know, I don't think he won a lot of games without Tom Brady, but since he got Tom Brady, they won more games than any team in the history of the NFL. I'm a New England Patriots fan before Bill Belichick got there. I'm a Drew Bledsoe guy. I'm what's his name? God damn it. Pete Carroll guy. Pete Carroll got us to the playoffs 4 out of 5 years he was the coach there. We didn't do much, didn't make much noise, but, you know, Bill Parcells got us to the Super Bowl, and that was exciting. And then Desmond Howard ruined everything. But, like I said, there's a video about this on my channel. I don't know what this video is about. It's about meritocracy. Earning your spot. Earning your place. Maybe I didn't deserve to play second base. My dad was the coach, and he knew that's where I wanted to play, and like he could hit the ball right at me in practice every day, and I got it every time. I'd sacrifice my body to get it every time so that we didn't give up any runs. You know, I'd always range out for it no matter where he hit it. Because it's my dad, and he's not trying to hurt me. He's trying to teach me. He's trying to coach me. We're trying to learn how to be better baseball players and better people, you know. Oh, yeah, and another thing, because I was such a good athlete when I was a kid, at my little school that we went to, they used to hold a mini Olympics for all the kids, right? And I won it every year. Until this other kid, I'm sure I've mentioned him on here. His name is Brad Doherty. Doherety. I hate that kid. Because that year that I had to sit out with my, injury, that wasn't an injury, it was a surgery, and he was way better looking than me, I gotta admit. I mean, curly blonde hair, and I don't know. But all the girls used to like me. And, you know, this is in a time when you're a kid when that doesn't matter, right? Just a little boy. But all the girls liked me. That kid came to school and all the girls liked him. And I had to sit out a year, so I missed the Olympics, and he won it all. Just like I had for the previous 3 or 4 years, right? And I come back, and I gotta come back from my 6th grade year, and I gotta go up against this kid. And I cheated, and I won. I know this sounds bad, but I couldn't have it. I couldn't have this kid come in and be the usurper while I was out, and then, take the throne. I wasn't ready to take him on. No, not at all. I was not physically fit to take him on. So I cheated. And I got the gold medal. And yeah. I am proud of that. Because Brad Doherty can go suck a dick. Because even though I won, the girl still liked him. And we're getting to the age where I started to realize that maybe they're attraction to me was fleeting. Now, of course, I, had braces and headgear and scar on my face, and, I didn't look like a normal kid. Uh, you know, anyways, I don't know if I had to cheat to beat him, but I cheated and I beat him. And if you watch this video this far, like 50 minutes, I'm sure it's not even going to go up. I'm sure it's like 10 gigs and I don't have space on my phone for it. But if there is room on this phone, you're going to, and you stay through the whole thing. I think that kid deserved all the attention he got from the girls, and I think I got exactly what I needed with another gold medal, because I got them all the whole time I was a little kid, and that dude showed up, and nah, you can't overshadow me, because I'm the weird kid. I'm the guy. You do understand, like, people out there that are listening to this, if anybody listens to this, I was born with a cleft palate. I had many surgeries throughout my childhood, usually scheduled for the summertime, like when I'm out of school, or spring break, again, when I'm out of school, so I don't get to enjoy those times. But, my parents took care of me in other ways. Made sure I had all the coolest toys, all the, I never wanted for anything. They took care of it, right? Now, my parents just were like, because of the deformity I was born with, and let me talk to you about this if you don't know. From just under my nose to the back of my throat, everything was missing. I know that sounds weird. The doctor sewed everything together, but there's inches and inches of flesh and bone and teeth and stuff that just weren't there. I always attribute this fact to the fact that my mother said, well, your dad and I smoked pot once, and then we had sex, and I'm the progeny. Well, guess what happens when you do drugs and have sex? You got a deformed kid. And yeah, it took a long time. It took a very long time for me to... I don't want to say I would look normal now, but last time I saw my orthodontist, he said, oh, you guys are moving to Iowa. There's a Mayo Clinic up there. They can finish the work that we started, to make me look like fucking Tom Cruise or something. I don't know. There was a time in my life where I was a very handsome young man. I didn't have braces. I didn't have headgear. I didn't have 2 teeth in the front of my face. But I had an awesome smile, even though those teeth were missing. I really did. I was a very cute young man. I had blonde hair and big blue eyes. I still have the big blue eyes, but my hair is all gray now and mostly gone. I'm old now. But man, I love those pictures of me back when I was missing those 2 teeth. I used to have a piece of, what do they call it, a retainer, right? That had those 2 teeth just kind of like in there. They weren't my teeth. I don't know whose teeth they were. But I put in the retainer and those 2 teeth that were missing were right there. Yeah. But, had to have surgery to, well, get this. Those 2 teeth were up in my head somewhere. This is going to sound weird. And I had to pull them out of my head. And this is going to sound so bad. Anybody who listens to this part of the video, I thank you for listening, because they used like chains and they drilled tiny little holes in my teeth, right? And they put me back in braces. This is when I was in high school. This is when this happened. My missing teeth weren't cute enough anymore. And I can tell you, Michelle Langlois, that's a girl in my art class. She's a senior when I was a freshman. I was 12 or 13. And she just totally, like, brought me in. She's like, you're the coolest little kid ever. And she was the prettiest girl I'd ever seen at that point. Like, real girl. I mean, in, the Sears catalog and shit, there's a lot of beautiful women. But I digress. But yeah, Michelle Langlois, I'll love you forever. Anyhow, I have to go onto the knife and I get braces put back on. This is spring break, my freshman year of high school. And, those 2 teeth aren't there when I get out, right? I'm like, well, weren't they doing that? Isn't that the point of getting in here, is to get those teeth to grow in? Or to just pull them in? And my mom's like, nah, it's going to take a couple years. So the kid with the awesome smile that had a couple holes in it and smiled all the time is now the kid who has a weird looking smile because he's wearing braces and there's teeth growing in the front of his face. I don't know how to explain it. I'll tell you this. While this is happening, I couldn't talk to any girl ever because I'm completely and utterly deformed. But a couple years before, I was like super stoked. Yeah, I got a couple missing teeth. They didn't grow in. They just didn't come in on half of my face. It's cool. I was happy. And I was charismatic. Despite the fact that I didn't have those teeth. But as they're coming in, and the kids at school got to see, like, as I changed, as I morphed into a kid with those 2 teeth back in my face. Not to say, once they finally came in, but I'd lost all my confidence. And of course, as I grew up in high school, I was a total nerd anyways. It didn't matter. I did ask Regina Mitchell out on a date, and she was the hottest girl in school. Because I had no fear of anything, The only thing I feared was more of this grotesquerie coming out of my face. She said no. Because I was deformed and weird. Trying to be cool. Trying to be, Anyways. That's when I became an iconoclast. Honestly. Sometime around, like, junior year of high school, I just became an absolute iconoclast. Anything they liked, I hated. Kids in school liked something, I didn't like it. And I told them why. This video will never upload. It's an hour long. There ain't no room on my phone for an hour-long video. Anyways, it was fun recording. It's been very entertaining to record this for you. Shame you can't watch it. Shame you're never going to get to see this. Because, it's a stream of consciousness video. It's off the cuff. This is just me talking about my life. And of course, Heather Ontos. That wasn't where it was supposed to start. I already made that Heather Ontos video. Curious if it uploaded. Honestly. Because it's so hate-filled. I don't know if YouTube will just block it. That was weird. I absolutely hate that woman. She's vile. It's so weird. Online personas can be misread. I understand that. But she said America is the worst country in the world. She says white men and white people and men are awful. And she's in lockstep with a bunch of other people that feel the same way. I mean, isn't that how the Nazi Party started? I'm just saying. That bitch is a Nazi. Anyhow, peace.